Hi, Aaron Fiscom. I've been building for 2 years, and this is my second Brickworld.
Awesome, awesome. And so what do we have here?
This is the Hiigaran destroyer from the game Homeworld. Originally released in 1999, remastered version in 2015. Okay. I still play it, I love it, and for the love of the game, that's why I built this.
Awesome. And so for someone unfamiliar with the intellectual property, add as much context as you can to the significance of this ship within that world.
Destroyer class, protector, defender, and one of the I guess larger ships from that's produced from another ship in the game. But one of my favorites for sure.
Awesome, awesome. And this definitely has some significant scale to it. So how does one build a ship like this? What sort of structural techniques did you use?
Very carefully, a lot of technique. Brick, some beams to keep things together. It was a little bit of trial and error because I'm kind of new to doing Lego builds. But, all in all, some snot technique. Just some pieces that sit there statically, and I got to be honest with you, I'm so new to doing this, I don't know all the technique names, so here we go.
And so how did you sort of go from amateur, novice, no idea what Lego is at all, to this? What did that look like?
The first thing I really went for was the land speeder, and that's what I did, but I guess there was that unwritten expectation of doing what I did with that and coming back the next year with something bigger.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I went a little larger this year. It's about 11,000 bricks. It's a decent size, it's not the hugest thing out there, but for me it was a challenge, especially with the angles that it has. That was really what made me want to try this craft.
Awesome. So as a builder, what's the single greatest resource that you've found, either like a website or a person or something like that has allowed you to level up your building game?
There's a couple people out there, I suppose. Pete Brookdale was a big influence on me right away. Great builder. Lots of good stuff. Alan Hickman also. But for this, really just playing the game, looking at it, trying to figure out how we do it, and building to scale as best I could with as much detail as possible.
I like that. And so run us through a couple of your most favorite, most favorite details
Sure.
within the ship that you really, really like.
I think the cannons were the most fun to put together, to try to mimic that. Just the way that they are on the ship itself was it was a little bit of a challenge. Lots of different pieces to use, lots of different shapes that you can make. But I went with this just because I felt it scaled it best. I think the wings on the side and the engines, especially the engines toward the back, that was probably the largest challenge.
I think I love the cleanliness of your lines, how smooth this sort of transitions, these 2x4 tiles, and then it meets the cheese slope, and it looks the corners are cut so cleanly.
I think LDD is my best friend, and I'm probably going to get smacked for that later, but that's okay. Some purists don't like it, but I have to be honest with you, that's how I go about it. That's what I like to use.
And so what do you do with that?
LDD specifically.
What do you do? What do you do within that? A lot of people have really different kinds of workflows when they're kind of using that or leveraging that tool.
I'll be honest with you, I don't really think about scale so much. I'll start building, try to make some shapes, see how it looks, and if I like it, pull up some pictures, put it right next to LDD on a second screen, and try to do scale from that as best I can.
Very cool. And to kind of close this out here, you have some mirrors. That's a wonderful technique. What do you think is the coolest thing about that? I think that's pretty cool.
I think if you finish the bottom, you should be able to see the bottom.
There you go. I like that.
And I have to be honest, the mirror that's sitting behind it was my fiance's idea and another builder that was here, and they said, both sides are different. You should really show off the other side.
That's awesome.
And so I can't put this at an angle enough on the table to show both. So that was the best way to go.
If mirrors were easier to transport, I think more people do that. So that's awesome.
Agreed. No, I picked it up at the Home Depot here in Chicago while I came for the visit.
Well, Aaron, thank you so much for sharing with us. Wonderful builds.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right.